You had said, though, that would not be the case with you. You had said that he's a populist and an authoritarian narcissist, that character is too important to me, and it's a job that requires the kind of character he just doesn't have. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
So Paul Ryan apparently was distilled from whatever cryogenic vault they've been holding him in for the last few years and came out on Fox News of all places, bear in mind he's on the board, to criticize Donald Trump. And he doesn't really pull his punches. He's not a big fan of him. Listen to this.
And I do think character is a really important issue. If you put yourself above the Constitution, as he has done.
But what happened? I
think that makes you unfit for office.
Was it the whole January 6th thing?
That's a part of it. I think it's a contribution of factors, but I think it really is just character at the end of the day. And the fact that if you're willing to put yourself above the Constitution, an oath you swear when you take office, in federal office, whether it's president or a member of Congress, you swear an oath to the Constitution. And if you're willing to suborn it to yourself, I think that makes you unfit for office.
Okay, so first of all, I love the reference to what is it that turned you against him? Was it the whole January 6th thing? I love that you can just be like, was it that time we did a coup? Yeah, I mean, that wasn't great, admittedly. So anyway, that's Paul Ryan. Now, he has some good points to make about Donald Trump not being fit for office. I think that's definitely true. He is 100% put the Constitution above him. I do want to remind you, though, that Paul Ryan is from a pre-Trump Republican Party, and that Republican Party wasn't great either. I just want to remind you of that. It wasn't as aggressive in some ways, but it wasn't awesome. That said, he wants to have his own attempt to explain to you what sort of Republican he is.
Look, I got death, taxes, and weird stuff from Donald Trump. These are the three certainties in my life. So to me, it's just another day in a life. Look, fealty to Trump is what rhino is, meaning if you don't pledge fealty to this man, then you are a rhino. It used to mean a liberal Republican versus a conservative. I'm a conservative Republican. He's a populist. He's not a conservative. I want to see someone who has fidelity to principles. I would prefer a party that is based on principles, not personality or populism. This populism is untethered to principles, and that's why I'm an anti-establishment Republican.
Okay, again, stop calling Donald Trump a populist unless you're willing to be specific about what you mean when you say that. Okay, that's my critique. Sharon, what do you make of that?
I'm tempted to say I don't want to hear anything from him. I don't want to hear any more from Republicans who had the opportunity. They were there. Like, remember when he was front and center and saying goofy things like, I'm not quite there yet? And then, of course, Trump mocked him and said it back when Paul Ryan needed him.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Thanks, okay? Thank you, Mitch McConnell. Thank you, Paul Ryan. Thank you to all of the people who said, I'm out of here, this is quirky, but oh yeah, you worked with him. Okay, you worked with him initially and you propped him up, and now we can't there's no exterminator who can get rid of this guy and his filthy politics and his filthy mouth and the real damage he's doing to all of us. So thanks a lot, Paul. And I don't even want his explanation. I'm sorry. Yeah. I should be playing better with friends, but I'm just so angry at these Johnny-come-latelys or Paul-come-latelys who just have so much to say. They're so distinguished and have so much. And I don't want them smiling. Okay, we got a crisis on our hands, and he helped build it.
100%. Yeah, no, it's totally fair. I mean, there was a time when he could have been stopped, and they didn't stop him. They being the Republicans of the primary, and also Hillary Clinton too. But anyway, they could have, and he's just hanging around, man. He just is hoping someday it's going to be our Republican Party again, and I can come back. And I don't necessarily see that happening. Also, my God, has he fallen far from his little photo shoot where he's pumping iron in the congressional gym or whatever? It's been a while, I guess. But anyway, okay, I want to read the tweets. We don't have time. We need to move on to our final story, okay? We have a minute? We have a minute. Okay, I'm gonna read the tweets. Let's cut that out, I apologize. So Paul Ryan dares to criticize Donald Trump, says that you're a rhino unless you are loyal to Donald Trump. That's all it means. The reaction to Paul Ryan, I think, proves what he's saying. Bridget Gabriel, who I think just tweets. I think she's famous on the right. I think she just tweets literally constantly. I think she's tweeting right now as I'm saying this. Posted this. Paul Ryan is an egotistical traitor to America. He puts his own feelings about President Trump before the well-being of our country. I love that tweet. Paul Ryan is egotistical, not Donald Trump. Also, Paul Ryan is a traitor, not the guy who tried to launch a coup against America. Paul Ryan didn't do that. He's a bad guy. He's a tool of the 1%. He sucks, but he didn't do those things. And he puts his own feelings about President Trump before the well-being of our country. So many of you people lie about what you actually believe about Donald Trump and just fall in line, not for the country, but for your own careers, for your own ambitions. He's at least willing to be on the outs there. I don't think he's some principled guy or whatever, but it's just amazing how they invert reality. And Steve Bannon, by the way, he says Ryan is a poisonous, no-talent hack, should be removed from Fox board. Maybe it does seem weird that he's on the Fox board, considering that they have bowed down to Donald Trump. But I don't know that they're going to listen to Steve Bannon necessarily. Any final thoughts before we move on?
That I might agree with Steve Bannon on this, just the last part, because remember, this is how can we take Paul Ryan seriously? He's on the Fox board, okay? He was part of, just by de facto, the lie, the $787 million. And you would think if he had any respect, he would say, I don't want to be part of this big lie anymore. Yet he sat there. And yes, he apparently wrote to them and did things undercover, but I thought you're a public person who cares about us and cares about democracy. I just want him to go have a seat, please.
Yeah.
Can he go have a seat? And I better not see him at the cookout this summer either, okay? I don't know why I'm being so hard on him, but I just cannot help it. I can't help it.
No, look, it's fair. Again, we'll move on a sec, but look, most people probably don't have a lot of thoughts about Paul Ryan. Many of you watching might have not have been following American politics back when he was an important person, but it's not like the Republican Party wasn't running like every election on fear about migrants and same-sex marriage and all that stuff back then. They were awful and they were racist and they were homophobic and they were all of those things. They still were demonizing Roe v. Wade and talking about wanting to take away your rights. All of that was true before Donald Trump. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?